Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to this freaking awesome gift of a bluebird of a day. Wow. Giovanni, let's just swing around so you can see him. Where'd he go? There he is. Giovanni and I today are just so inspired. We are way back there in the woods. We are so far back there, and it's mid-April and there's snow back here and it's gorgeous. And I think I just saw a woodpecker cruise on by. Anyway, I'm just so inspired to talk about being yourself unapologetically. We can be so tempted, seduced by the shame demons to negotiate who we are, and we've got to talk back to that crap and not give a fat rat's ass what anybody else thinks. And that can be hard given on this, the situation, especially if there's a power differential, which isn't always a workplace thing, right? Or like professor student, or boss employee, or dean faculty, or whatever. Sometimes that power differential might just be people who we hold important, right? They're a mother or a father or older sibling or best friend, or something like that. And they can mean well. Like, nobody's saying they're evil demons. They can really mean well. And sometimes they don't mean well. But it's just so important to not negotiate who we are. I can't say it enough. It sounds so Brene Brown, because she's in my friends group too. She's not aware, but Oprah and I really love her. And there's G. Okay, so here's the thing. I wanted to share a little bit. I've had this experience myself. And my context is as a card-carrying member of the Fast Mind Club, also known as ADHD, but I choose not to use that because first of all, it's a misnomer. That's too much to get into right now. You can see and actually I did a TED Talk on that. It's a misnomer for one. There's certainly no deficit of attention. It's a surplus. But anyway, even though this amazing, wild, and wonderful mind I have is loaded with gifts, especially creativity and innovation, and in that humor, kind of that being like, that funny person, the life of the party, that's part of us too. We're also super forgiving. Although in addition to that, we let it go. We let it go easily, I think, because we also don't remember necessarily the next day, just gone. And we are with that fleeting thought. So if that thought left, we left with it. So there you go. But there's also, there's definitely been a lot of negative and shame along the way. I'm thinking my example, I was just barely got out of the Jeep, ready to do the Instagram reel I just did, which is related to this, but we have longer than 90 seconds here, so we can go into it a little bit more. I share with you an example, professionally speaking, and I'm thinking, goes back years ago, like a long time, probably, I don't know, a decade or two, and it's been more than once. This is just one example of the same thing, different places. And there was this one person at a college where I taught who I was, I'd go in all energetic and I'd have my tea and I'm all excited, a new day, and I love people in general. My niche is with, young adults. I just love my students. I call them rock stars. And when I would come around the corner, I thought it was my imagination for a while. She had there goes the woodpecker. Not sure if you can hear that. There we go. Hashtag squirrel, right? So I would come around the corner, and I thought it was my imagination the first, 7 or 10 times. And she would close the door. She didn't even see me. She just heard me coming, saying hello to everybody, good morning, tea and everything. And back when I was, this must have been before that. No, this was an example. And then there were more when I was way younger, not working at a college. I was working at a counseling agency, but it's the same story, different context. And she would shut the door. I'm like, okay, when I was younger, I would internalize it. Like, what's wrong with me that I'm coming around the corner? She hasn't even seen me, and she closed the door. And she made a point of closing the door. It wasn't a full-blown slam, but it was a let you know the door close. It wasn't just like a little, you can kind of hold the doorknob if you don't want anybody to know you're really shutting it. Like you're in with a student and it was like whap. I'm like, okay. And then I'm thinking, okay, all that, the shame demons and self-doubt would come in and say, okay, maybe I'm talking too much. I don't know, or maybe I'm loud or something. And I did that for a while, and I would kind of tiptoe around it. And then I learned, okay, own some of it. Like when I occasionally interrupt people, which I've gotten way better at because I'm a seasoned 59. But I occasionally interrupt, and then I apologize. But the rest of it, don't apologize. Do not apologize. Never negotiate who you are. And then when I got healthier about this, because she stayed there for a while, and I thought I'd watch her walk around, and she had such a face, like today we would say the RBF. Back then we didn't say that. I think this was even longer ago than that because it was a really long time ago. I was not even, I think maybe I was late 30s or something. I don't know what I was. I don't remember that well, thankfully. But the point is, I really started questioning myself, like, oh no, and she doesn't like me, and I'm too cheerful, or who knows. Don't ever 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 negotiate yourself. Okay, so so our youngest said something to me a while back, who's also in the Fast Mind Club, and she said, Mom, think of it like this. She said, fast forwarding to more recently. Oh, there go the geese. Can you hear that? And the woodpecker. It's like a symphony. Wow, what a lovely way to start the day. Anyway, she would say, Mom, just think of it like this. You and I are like really decadent chocolate cake. The kind of, really high-end fancy cake you get at a 5-star restaurant or 4 stars, how many stars they have at the top. And it's, that rich, thick chocolate with the raspberry filling and maybe the shavings, an old dollop of whipped cream on the top. And she says, when you first look at that cake, and maybe they drop a little bit of, the little red sauce that goes over the top too. And they serve it to you in this gorgeous china with this little dessert fork, and you think to yourself as the servers bring it over, wow, I can't wait to dive into that very decadent chocolate cake with the raspberry filling, the sauce, the dollop of whipped cream, and just plunge myself into it. So after you have that first bite, it's like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. After the third bite, you're like, okay, too much. And so this is a good example, is strive to be that. I love the example she gave. I mean, you've been using that for years in different professional arenas because it just rolled out of her. And I love it because we all have things about us that we like and love, and we've got things about us that are works in progress, right? So we want to focus on where we sparkle, not where we're deficient. Focus on where you sparkle, and don't negotiate for the things that we're working on, because none of us, the P word, I don't like the P word, perfect. None of us are perfect. We're not now, we're not going to be. It's just how it is. Our spirits are perfect, I believe. And there's that dose of humanness that we're all working on. And it's very important not to negotiate that and to change our perspective, because we can change how we choose to look at our imperfections. And it doesn't mean to not apologize when you mess up. Let's just say for me, let's say I interrupted in a meeting or something. I say, guys, I'm so sorry. I was just really excited. I had an impulse, and okay. And then I just work at not doing it again in that meeting if I can. It's constant because I can't change my wiring. And I want to scream right now. I was born that way. Isn't that Lady Gaga? Anyway, because it is. We are born who we are. We are born with, hazel eyes. I'm eventually, when younger, eventually going to grow into your 5'1" self that you are now, and all the other things about us it's not different. And so it's very, very important to realize that and to not negotiate and to change your perspective. I also just did a podcast recently. It's not out yet because it was just last week, I think. I haven't edited it yet. And she was talking about this too. Amber, Amber out there. She's a Love Life, I forget her title, but basically she works with people in their relationships, and most of them are between, I think, like late 30s and 50s. And with dating, and she's not a matchmaker, it's about dipping into all the stuff we're talking about, our limiting beliefs, the self-doubt, all that sort of thing. And she was talking about this too. And she's got spice, she's got pizzazz. I love her. Because we can't change who we are, not easily anyway. We can make changes, of course, but our core person is we love her or him or them, whatever. And so it's very, very, very important to kind of maybe change the perspective on it. So I've learned to love that about myself. So with that Krabby Patty that was in that office years and years and years ago, I eventually came into this, that, wow, I'm walking in there cheerful, offering people this and that, because I was, I'd bring in stuff sometimes, maybe I'd bring in cookies or whatever. And most everybody was super receptive to my bubbly persona. And I also like jokes. I'm fun. I'm humorous. I thought, you know what? I just kind of drew a line in the sand mentally. I'm not going to try with her anymore because there's no point. I'll always be cordial, but there's no point. I don't need to come at it with needy, like me energy. That's ridiculous. I'm a really good person. No one's perfect. I love that I'm happy and bubbly and high energy. I love that I'm funny. I love that I'm a morning person and I'm cheerful. And if she wants to be dry white toast, by all means, go ahead. Go right ahead and be your crabby self. I really don't care anymore. And I came into this healthy place and it's stayed with me ever since. And it's kind of like, the universe gives us quizzes, just constantly gives us quizzes. There have been more of those Krabby Patties along the way, not a ton, but doing the same thing. I come around the corner, okay, coincidence once or twice, not 12 or 15 times, and I just say, okay, all right, go ahead and close your door. That's all right. And I would also own my end. I guess I need to be a little quieter. They were in a meeting, whatever. But I'm not going to apologize for that crap anymore. I don't give a fat rat's ass what anybody thinks. And again, if you want to be a stiffo and hide in your office, go, by all means, go ahead. And that's it. And that's it. Don't apologize for who you are. Don't negotiate who you are. Be you, full tilt. And that's really it. Like yourself, love yourself with all your imperfections. Work on the stuff you need to work on and focus. Focus on where you sparkle and know that your amazing self is contributing your own unique mark to the world. Have a good day.